Welcome to round 3 of competition in the new PBA League. 8 5-man teams featuring the world's best bowlers, with each team owned by some of the biggest names in sports and entertainment. Today, Pete Weber and the league-leading New York City WTT KingPins, owned by Billie Jean King, make their 3rd straight appearance in a final. But the number 1 seed team on today's stepladder, Jerome Bettis' Motown Muscle. Joining those 2 teams here at Detroit's Thunderbowl lanes, Chris Paul's LAX, Terrell Owens' Dallas Strikers, Kevin Hart's Philadelphia Hitmen, Chris Hardwick's Silver Lake Atom Splitters, Lamar Woodley's Pittsburgh Jackrabbits, and Jesse Williams' Brooklyn Styles. It's team versus team competition with the goal of getting to Indianapolis and capturing the season-ending Elias Cup. The fans at Thunderbowl lanes are ready, and the PBA won't disappoint. Hi, everybody. I'm Lon McCarron with Randy Peterson. We're going to kick it off today with a PBA League clash. Players from 5 of the PBA League teams attempt to bowl their way onto the bottom rung of the team stepladder finals. Following the clash and the exciting team competition, we'll bring you the championship match of the Mark Roth Classic, featuring a couple of pros with 2 PBA titles apiece, Randy.
That'll be conducted between Michael Haugen Jr., a major championship winner, and quite arguably the hottest player in this competition, Southpaw Scott Norton.
Here's a look at the stepladder. The Motown Muscle are the number 1 seed, followed by the New York City WTT KingPins and the Brooklyn Styles. This is the Mark Roth Classic, and earlier Mark was here to throw out the first ball. He did suffer a stroke a few years ago, but it's nice to see he's been recovering, Randy.
Well, we had a saying on tour back in the day, Lon, and that's, if you ever needed a player to throw you 1 strike for $1 million, it would be Mark Roth any day of the week and twice on Sunday. He dominated the tour like no other back in the 70s and early 80s, and he is the original power player to ever be that dominant on this tour.
We certainly hope he continues to be a strong presence in the game. Here's how this PBA League clash works. Everyone throws 1 ball per frame. If you're the low count or tie for the low count, you're out. They will continue until 1 player has earned his team a spot in the stepladder team finals. Let's take a look at our 11-man PBA clash lineup. The higher a team finished in the qualifying, the more players they can put in the clash. The Hitmen have 4, Silver Lake's Atom Splitters with 3, other teams with just 2 or 1 competitor. Last time the Dallas Strikers had only 1 in the clash. Rhino Page, he went 8 for 8 to put the Strikers into the stepladder final, greatly delighting team owner Terrell Owens and the rest of the Strikers. So let's get started. Osku Palermo, the first of 11 players in this PBA League clash. He will set the tone for the other 10. 7-pin sticks.
I don't know what's worse, starting this competition or being the last guy to throw. But if it was me, I'd pick somewhere in the middle. I'd like to see a couple of balls go down the lane first.
Now from the Dallas Strikers, Mike Machuga, 36 years old, 2 PBA titles. The Dallas Strikers have 2 players in this clash. Pin. Terrell Owens, the team owner for the Dallas Strikers. He has been a great presence here at Thunderbowl lanes.
I like to refer to him as T.O. or Mr. T.O.
Yeah, Mr. Nathan Bohr of the Silver Lake Atom Splitters. Nathan from Wichita, Kansas, 32 years old, also bowled at Wichita State. Won the national title there with the team in '03. Nine is the number right now. 9 is still the number. Here's how our teams stand up coming into today's competition. Billie Jean King's New York City WTT Kingpins on top with 24 points, followed by Jesse Williams, Brooklyn Styles, and the Motown Muscle and Dallas Strikers rounding out the top 4. And that's where you want to be. After 5 rounds, it's the top 4 teams who get to go to Indianapolis and compete for the championship and the Elias Cup.
Yep.
There's the current world champion, Parker Bone III. 49 years old, he won that major at the World Series of Bowling. So no strikes through the first 3. From the left hand of Parker Bone III, there's our first strike.
Yeah, pretty colorful bowling ball that Parker's throwing there. You know, back in the day when Mark Roth was dominating, there was like 2 colors. It was black or red. And most of the time we saw Mark throwing that red Columbia 300 yellow dot down the lane. And boy, there's nobody that could get power on it like Mark Roth. And you look back at the bar reaction then and the bar reactions now, it's like a Volkswagen going up against a Mack truck.
Dom Barrett from my favorite team name, the Silver Lake Atom Splitters, owned by Chris Hardwick. Well, this could be very interesting with a lot of 9 counts and just 1 strike, Randy, because the low count and all ties will be eliminated. So a chance for a number of players to go.
Well, everybody could be gone except for one Parker Bone III if everybody else gets 9.
Chris Loschetter from the Philadelphia Hitmen. They have 4 players in this clash, and they're all going to go back to back to back to back. Well, now there's a new low from Loschetter, a 7 count, so everyone else is safe who has bowled already.
Yes, Losche's trying to go straight there, and he just missed a little bit to the right, missed it off his hand just a pinch. But we have seen players get 6 counts. And I'm not trying to jinx Mike Devaney.
I think he was one of them in a previous clash.
You said that, I did.
This is Devaney. Devaney with a strike.
Just put the can opener to the 1-3 pocket on that shot, did Devaney.
So Devaney will take his seat and give way to teammate and franchise player on this Hitman team, Bill O'Neill. 8 or better, and Bill is safe for round 2.
9.5,
right.
Is that all right?
Yeah, 9.5, I'm gonna mark it. All these Hitmen, as I said, in a row, and now Mika Koivu-Niemi sporting those glasses that he brought to Japan.
You have no idea how happy those guys that got 9 sitting on the bench.
Boy.
Watching Loschetter whiff the headpin.
That was a big bubble they were sitting
man.
on. 45-year-old Mika still seems to be at the top of his game. Nice ball all the way. So now the star of the last PBA League clash that we saw, Rhino Page from the Dallas Strikers, the only member of the Strikers in that clash. He went 8 for 8 and earned his team a spot in the stepladder finals. Darrell Owens looking on.
Yep, 8 for 8. 8 strikes in a row for Rhino Page. Whoa. Look out.
Oh, he's back on it.
How about 9 in a row in this clash competition for the guy with the pipes from Central Florida?
Rhino Page still looking strong. Another guy who was shown very well in the clash competition, Chris Barnes from the Silver Lake Atom Splitters, their franchise player.
It actually came down between him and Page.
Chris threw a 9 and Page struck. And here Barnes with the strike, and so that means that Chris Loschetter, one of the 4 Philadelphia Hitmen, eliminated after that first frame. So we're down to 10.
You know what they say, lawn dogs that chase parked cars and guys that get 7 counts in the Clash competition don't last long.
Low Shedder, the first to be eliminated. Who will survive? Find out as the PBA League Clash continues after the break. The PBA League Mark Roth Classic is brought to you by Geico, saving people money on more than just car insurance. The USBC, enhancing the bowling experience for millions of bowlers. To learn more, visit us on bowl.com. Track, evolutionary, revolutionary. And by Jack Link's Beef Jerky, feed your wild side. Welcome back to the PBA League Mark Roth Classic. We're in the middle of the clash to determine which team will advance to today's stepladder final. While we were gone, another Philadelphia Hitman went to the sidelines. Bill O'Neill's 8, the low score, and the team's franchise player was gone. In round 3, the Silver Lake Atom Splitters' Nathan Bohr would repeat O'Neill's mistake, leaving the 3-6, and once again, 8 was not enough to stay in this week's clash. The second to throw in round 4, Mike Machuga of the Dallas Strikers. Would a perfectly respectable 9 hold up? The Hitmen's Mika Koivu-Niemi tried, but failed to beat it. Same story for Atom Splitter Chris Barnes, who nearly left 2 for an 8. So Barnes, Machuga, and Koivu-Niemi all gone in round 4. Koivu-Niemi, the third of the 4 Hitmen to be eliminated. And so just like that, we're down to 5 as we start round 5. Palermo, Bone, Barrett, Devaney, and the player who won last week's clash, Rhino Page. Palermo throws first.
Osku continues the strike train. That's 4 in a row for Palermo. And it's funny, it's kind of that first guy that bowls is almost like in the background. You know, he throws that strike and then goes back and sits in the shadows and nobody thinks about it for a while.
Forgotten soul.
Yeah. But he's the one who's really putting the pressure on the rest of the field. Parker Bone now. Yeah. He's up to the task.
2 southpaws left. There's one of them, the other, Rhino Page. That side of the lane looking pretty strong. 26.
Dom Barrett talking to himself. And the vice really tightens now. Fewer and fewer players that you have. And that's a Dom Barrett all these pros know on tour.
Guy's a good bowler, really good bowler. Won his first title at last year's World Series of Bowling. This guy's pretty good as well.
Devaney, the Philadelphia Hitmen. The only one remaining from the 4 that started this PBA League clash. Wow, that had a lot of rev rate on it. The Hitmen keep their man alive.
Looked like Mike Devaney took a big giant step left on that shot, wheeled it to the right and just shredded the rack again.
If Rhino doesn't strike, he's out.
I guess you could say that Rhino Page has actually bowled an Andy Verapapa 300 game.
And he got it.
Why?
That's heat. Everybody strikes.
And Rhino gets the high five from his team owner. Terrell Owens, not the only NFL great who owns a team here in the PBA League. Lamar Woodley is the owner of the Pittsburgh Jackrabbits, whose franchise player is Osku Palermo. In 2009, the linebacker won Super Bowl 43 with the Pittsburgh Steelers and was also named to the Pro Bowl that year. He is the first player in the NFL to post a sack in 6 consecutive postseason games.
Wow. I think we have just seen the end of Palermo.
Every time we've seen trouble in this shootout, it's always been on the right lane. This one going too straight up the middle part of the lane, and that's really the only disadvantage you'll get with that high rev rate and ball speed is it cuts through so sharply. A lot of times you're going to leave that big split. 3, 4, 6, 7.
And you leave it up to some great pros and just tell them 7 or better and you're through. Oh, my goodness.
Are you serious?
I eat my words.
That was the only thing that could have killed Parker because I didn't think he was going to go through the nose. Instead, he buckets. Now they're tied.
Tied with a ticket out.
You want to talk about some loose arm swings. Dom Barrett, Rhino Page, Mike Devaney, their swings are going to be loose knowing that they need 7. Parker's in shock. So am I.
So was everybody here at Thunderbowl Lanes as Dom Barrett takes his position. Good ball.
What a great shot. He makes it look so easy. Effortless power from Dom Barrett.
Devaney now. Just throw it down the middle.
I still think that you got to kind of throw the strike ball here.
With 2 men on the bubble. Devaney says, yeah,
Mike's
I'm going to leave it up to Rhino.
Mike's dialed in. He's got a good look. Stepped up there with a lot of confidence, and it showed. Rhino Page, how many in a row does he have now? 140 what?
Something like that, yeah. Well, he's in a much different position now throwing this ball than he was the last time. Everybody had struck up to him in the last frame, and now he just needs 7 or better. To eliminate Palermo and Bone. He needs 7. Oh no! Instead we lose Rhino Page as well. Terrell can't believe it. Terrell wants that ball back. So Rhino Page, Parker Bone III, and Osku Palermo throw 6-6-6 and are out.
After 13 in a row, Rhino Page goes through the schnoz. He gets 6. He takes himself out of contention.
2 are left.
And look at T.O.'s reaction. He can't believe it either.
Dom Barrett and Mike Devaney trying to get their teams into the stepladder finals. Philadelphia Hitmen represented, as well as the Silver Lake Adams Splitters. 9 from the Adams Splitters Barrett.
Last time up on this lane, Devaney looked like he moved left and he just shredded the rack. Let's see if he's got one more strike left in him to get the Hitmen in the stepladder finals.
A strike will end this competition and put the Hitmen into the stepladder finals, and that's what he does. The Hitmen bring 4 to this clash, and their last man standing is the last man standing. More action coming your way. We'll get the team competition underway when we come back to Allen Park. Welcome back to Thunderbowl Lanes and the PBA Winter Swing. We do have our 4th seed now with the Philadelphia Hitmen. JT right now is with their franchise player, Bill O'Neill.
Billy, if the team owner, Kevin Hart, were here right now, what do you think his reaction would have been when you clinched that?
Oh, well, he would have been running around crazy, just like he was at the Chris Paul event, just running around being happy, So, yeah, I think he'd be pleased with the way Mike bowled there. We hope to take advantage of that. Our swings will be pretty loose because we didn't expect to be here. So, we're just going to go out there and let it flow.
Well, good luck, Billy.
All right, so newly minted 4th seed Philadelphia will challenge the Jesse Williams-owned Brooklyn Styles in today's opening team matchup. And Randy, let's talk about that Motown muscle team owned by Jerome Bettis. Mike Haugen, their franchise player, told me that he himself was not bowling all that well. But I said, how's the team doing? He says, the team's doing great. And boy, is he right, because this is the 3rd straight TV finals that we've seen this team in.
Well, they're the #1 seed, and when you look at this team from top to bottom, extremely consistent from an average standpoint. And ironically, Mike Haugen has the lowest average on the team. But the last time we saw this team compete, they got off to a horrible start. They opened in the first 2 frames, never recovered, and lost to the KingPins. Today, if Motown can muscle up, they may have a shot to win.
All right, let's take a look right now at the Philadelphia roster as we are ready to get this first team match underway.
Chris Loshedder will lead off, followed by Dick Allen, Mike Devaney, Bill O'Neill, and the anchorman, Major Mika Koivuniemi for this 4th-seeded Hitmen team. And the Brooklyn Styles will bring Walter Ray Williams Jr. into the leadoff role, followed by Jason Sterner, Ryan Schaefer, Ryan Simonelli, and Sean Rash. All right, Loshedder now. His first match. That is ugly.
Not the start you want when you're the leadoff player. Chris Loshedder coming in light, leaving the 2-4-10. This ball looks pretty good, and then it just never picks up when it gets to about the 40-foot line. Losh is going to try to get his bowling ball into this area here, throw the 2-pin over into the 10.
So an open frame for Loshedder.
All right, go. Come on.
Leading up for the Brooklyn Styles, Walter Ray Williams Jr.
So Loshedder after that open frame, and then you got to hand the floor over to this guy, Randy.
You know, I've heard of this guy. I hear he's an awesome horseshoe pitcher.
One of the best in the world. He says there's only one other guy in the world better than he. And he wants to be #1 again in horseshoes. Hurry! Oh, boy. And he's handing it right back.
Wow. Well, Lon, the bad news is that Walter Ray started off, didn't take advantage of his opponent's open frame, and he left the big 4. The good news is this split here has only been made one time in the history of bowling on television, and this is the guy that made it.
Let's see a little more history.
That's not going to make it.
Not quite. Oh, he thought he maybe could get a little rumbling back there in the pit. So 2 open frames to begin our team competition here. Dick Allen now from the Hitmen. Richie from Columbia, South Carolina, 34 years old, 3 PBA titles. O'Neill likes this guy. 30th pick overall.
A little soft, but it looks like
Soft back there.
the Hitmen might get their first mark. Dick Allen leaving a 10-pin, he'll switch to a plastic ball. Throw it nice and straight, shouldn't be a problem.
There's the feeling you have of a team. You like them to pick you up and you don't throw a good shot, but also all eyes on you as well. You have responsibility to the team.
Wow. That was fairly close.
Is that what you're going to call it? So the spare, finally, first mark of the match.
Check this out. Honestly, when he let it go, I didn't think he was going to make it. It was going to be back-to-back open frames, but no harm, no foul.
Jason Sterner from McDonough, Georgia. Made his first TV final this season at the World Series of Bowling. And he brings us our first strike of this match.
Boy, is he a great player. In watching him at the World Series of Bowling, he was the only player that used his thumb. He bowled really, really good then, losing to Tom Doherty, who was the eventual winner. Really liked that young man's game.
Philadelphia Hitman, Mike Devaney.
Mike Devaney now, who won the PBA League Clash to earn this 4th seed for the Hitmen.
Let's go. Double it up. Come on. Work here. Work here. Work here. Got the headpin again. Thank you, Mika.
So a good strike for Devaney.
Setting up for the Brooklyn Styles, Ryan Schaefer.
Looking at one of the most underrated players on this tour right there, Ryan Schaefer, the Bulldog.
Bulldogs got bite.
Not the most conventional style we've seen out here, but Schaefer gets it done to double up for the Styles. Up now, the man who picked this Philadelphia team for owner Kevin Hart, Bill O'Neill. O'Neill already a title winner this year, taking the PBA Cheetah Championship at the World Series of Bowling, dominating Mike Wolf 243 to 192. It was the 4th career title for O'Neill and his first in nearly 2 years. And O'Neill, a new father as well. He and his wife Christy welcomed a baby boy, Gavin, into the world last month. Congratulations to them.
O'Neill with a double for his team. And they became franchise players, Randy, because they're the 8 players who are franchise players, the top 8 in points over last season. And so they're the ones who drafted all the other players, formed the clubs. Ryan Simonelli.
Simonelli was Sean Rash's first pick in the first round of the draft. He was the 6th player picked overall. And Sean chose Ryan because not only has this kid got a lot of power and a lot of talent, but he also had a lot of success in this building.
Simonelli now looking for the spare. Easy pickup.
Come on, guys. Start me back up. Let's go.
Still a tight match after 4. The Styles down by 2. Mika Koivu-Niemi now. Time for the anchorman, the 5th man on each club. Philadelphia put 4 players into that league clash, and they needed every one of them to earn this spot right here. And now they can earn maximum points if they go through the bracket. That's why he's the anchor man.
And they're living up to their reputation of being, quite honestly, the strongest team in this league competition. You got Bill O'Neill in the 4th hole, and then you could follow it up with anchor bowler Mika Koivu-Niemi and throw a little low shedder and Devaney at you. It's a pretty good lineup.
For the Styles, franchise player, current player of the year, Sean Rash.
That was close.
But not close enough. That is a strong lineup.
Rash averaging 253 for the Mark Roth Classic in qualifying. I mean, he literally held his entire team up.
Well, we're halfway through. The Hitmen up by 14, looking for the upset. Jason Sterner getting him started. Back with more. It's the Styles and the Hitmen from Detroit. Welcome back to the PBA League Mark Roth Classic from Allen Park, Michigan. We got the Hitmen and the Styles going at it. Hitmen with the lead right now. Well, one of the owners in the league is Jesse Williams, owner of the Brooklyn Styles. He is what they call on the web actually the hunky Dr. Avery on Grey's Anatomy. First appeared in Brooklyn's Finest and Cabin in the Woods. And he did play in the 2012 NBA All-Star Weekend Celebrity Game, and also he won the 2012 Chris Paul Celebrity Shootout.
My daughter is so in love with him.
There are a lot of daughters in love with him. We're glad that Jesse is part of us. And the PBA. Chris Loschetter starting us off again now here in the 6th. The teams have switched lanes. Loesch not happy on either side.
Yeah, he's struggling. He went light on the left lane, leaving a 2-4-10. Now he goes through the nose, leaving 3-6-10. And Loesch looking to convert so that he doesn't go back-to-back open frames for the Hitmen. Again, really tough format, the Baker style format. You get only 2 shots, only a couple of shots of practice.
Looking for them all, and he does convert. So that's a pick-me-up for Loschetter there. Walter Ray with an open frame in his first.
Loschetter open, and then Walter Ray came right behind him with a big 4 in the first frame.
Who'da thunk, huh? New lane for Walter Ray, too. Yeah, he got it there.
Walter Ray, the man who's won more titles than anyone in PBA history with 47. But even so, the now 53-year-old was not picked until the 3rd round of the PBA draft.
Walter Ray Williams, it was interesting that he was actually still around in the 3rd round. Last year was his worst year ever on tour. And for a guy that has been so successful for so long, it's pretty easy to say, hey, Walter, well, you're just going to throw it for the cheese for us.
So Walter Ray starting off the 2nd half with a strike to Gallen. 10-pin.
Good shot there, but with a spare, they'll still maintain a 10-pin lead.
Yes, retro yellow.
He needs to convert to keep his Hitmen in the match. Trying to advance through this bracket, earn maximum points, and earn a trip to Indianapolis. A chance at the Elias Cup, the championship trophy of this PBA league.
Big shot coming up right here for Jason Sterner and the Brooklyn Styles. Jason can tie this matchup with a hit right here. Remember, he struck in the 2nd frame. This guy's a really good looking young talent. Love this kid's game.
Oh, and Jason brought that ball back beautifully. He's had a problem with that forefinger on his right hand this week. He said on day 1 he ripped it open, and he's been working with it all week long.
That was a great shot. That ball just sucked up right into the 1-3 for 10 back. We're all even through 7.
Jason Sterner rubbing shoulders quite literally with Walter Ray Williams. And now Devaney for the Philadelphia Hitmen. Owned by Kevin Hart.
Come on, let's go.
Devaney opens the 8th with a strike.
And Monkey Boy comes through for his team.
6 with my feet and about 4 with my target.
Now Ryan Schaefer, the Bulldog, getting up in the 8th frame, can take the lead for the Brooklyn Styles. Working on a double.
The Styles, the higher seeded team, number 3 on the step ladder. Schaefer, oh, he rocks the 10-pin, but it stays.
Wow, are you kidding me? Throws his A shot, gets 9.5. 10-pin just wiggling and laughing at him. Watch this, 6-pin does nudge it, but not enough to knock the 10 down. It's hard when you got to look back at the bench and 4 or 5 other players are counting on you as well.
Schaefer trying to clean it up, and he cuts it a little thin, but it works. Styles now down by 1. Big guns for Philly to bowl. O'Neal and then Mika.
And they're working on a strike.
Here's Bill O'Neal, franchise player for the Hitmen from Langhorne, Pennsylvania, 31 years old. He and his wife Christy just welcomed a new son to their family, son Gavin. And O'Neal with the strike there in the 9th.
Wow, that ball looked like it was going to be high, and it just froze about 40 feet down the lane. Watch this. It's pretty straight, right around the 17th board. That didn't do a whole lot going down the lane.
O'Neal, a great college bowler at Saginaw Valley State, showing he knows how to lead a team now. Styles down by 11. Here's Simonelli. The left-hander lets it fly. Trouble. Maybe the lights are dimming.
The lights are out. The lights just went out with that split there. They needed a strike there to keep pace and give themselves a chance in the 10th frame. And Simonelli trying to go with that high hard one and just gets it just a pinch inside target. It goes right through the nose.
Sorry, guys.
Big moment in this match on Ryan Simonelli's shoulders in the 9th.
Well, he knew what the score was, and he knew how important this shot was, and unfortunately this ball goes high. And again, when you have 4 or 5 guys counting on you, there's not a worse feeling in this sport.
Mika in the 10th. Mika's okay with that.
Yeah, because that's all she wrote.
The Philadelphia Hitmen come in as the wild card to take out the number 3 seeded Brooklyn Styles, and so it will be the Hitmen taking on the New York City WTT Kingpins, Pete Weber and company. This is going to be a good one. Come on back.
The PBA League Mark Roth Classic is brought to you by Geico, saving people money on more than just car insurance. Storm, bowlers serving bowlers. Storm is the bowlers company. Columbia 300, Columbia bowls the world over. And by Roto-Grip, defying them all with performance and value made simple.
Welcome back to the PBA Winter Swing. This is the Mark Roth Classic from Thunderbowl lanes. Next up, the Hitmen are going to be taking on the New York City WTT Kingpins. Their franchise player is none other than PDW Pete Weber. Right now, he's standing by with JT Action Jackson.
Thanks, guys. Hey, Pete Weber, how you doing?
Pretty good, JT. What's up, man?
Good. Just had a quick question. I hear that back in the day, your father, Dick Weber, was part of a team back in the 60s.
I think the older crowd might know who that was. You know, the Budweisers, right? I think that's it. They had the team record for a long time, but you know that was shot out by lots of pins. So, but yeah, he was part of the Budweisers. What a great team.
So, how do you like team bowling?
I think it's great. I love it because there's not so much pressure on yourself. You got 4 other guys to pick you up if you screw up. So you know what? To me, this is a blast. I couldn't ask for a better team either.
Well, thank you, and I wish you good luck, Pete.
Thanks, JT.
All right, so the Kingpins with Weber in the 4-hole taking on the Philadelphia Hitmen now, who just dispatched of the 3rd-seeded Brooklyn Styles, 214-176.
The WTT and the Kingpins name, by the way, stands for World Team Tennis. Another league obviously close to Billie Jean King's heart, the WTT, entering its 38th season this year.
Last time we saw John Zerbinski, he missed striking on just 1 shot. The guy was phenomenal.
On the left lane, Zerbinski. Oh boy, almost left the 7-10.
Kid's going to be a star. I said it on our last telecast. I'm going to say it again. John Zerbinski is going to be a star on this tour. I don't know when.
Pete Weber went to Tommy Jones, said, who should I pick? And TJ said, this guy. This guy, just as you said, is going to be something special. Trying to clean up and open with a mark in the first frame. John Zerbinski.
All right. Good frame, good frame. Come on.
As we have seen, anything can happen on these lanes. We've seen a lot of big 4s, a lot of other splits, open frames. And with that, I'm sorry, Chris Loschetter comes up. He's had some trouble himself.
You're lucky he can't hear you.
I know, but I just report the facts, man. Loschetter looking for his first strike.
Cannot get out of my own way today.
Well, you heard him say it. He can't get out of his own way. He's struggling with his game. Another shot through the nose on that right lane, and again leaving the 3-6-10. And what's interesting is the last time he converted this, he actually made it on the wrong side. He made it on the left side of the 3-pin.
9 TV finals in his career. He's got 2 top 10s already this season.
And he's in a real scary place right now, Lon. It's like getting the shanks in golf.
So Loschetter sits down as his team tries to pick him up. Jack Jurek now. Call him Gentleman Jack.
You guys know Gentleman. I know him.
2-time winner of the Steve Nagy PBA Sportsmanship Award.
Okay, I'm kidding. He's a true gentleman. Known Jack for a long time.
Oh boy. That had hopes of coming back, but it just never did, Randy.
I think he liked it off his hand. The ball just didn't turn up and face the 1-3, but the last time we saw Jack using a spare ball, it got hung up on his thumb and he whiffed the 7-pin, but that shot there just looked a little soft off the end of the pattern. Jack has got a new spare ball in his hand, Lon.
Boy.
Hey, listen. That's why there's several coats of paint on that pin and not just one. Okay? That's fine.
He needed every one of them. All right, now Philadelphia down by 10. Dick Allen.
I love this guy. He's not afraid to express himself.
Went spare in the opening match. And now with the strike in his second frame.
Richie Allen is one of the more colorful characters on this tour. I think he should have got a Hitman tattoo on his neck just for this event.
Who would have thought, and with these lineups, it would have taken the 4th bowler in the match to get a strike. Tommy Jones now for the KingPins. The winner of this match will meet the top-seeded Motown Muscle. And they're fighting for maximum points in this league to try to earn their way into the league finals in Indianapolis. Boy, just barely got that head pin.
Definitely has some hang down lane on the left lane, at least for the KingPins we do. Tommy Jones going light, leaving the 210. Jack Jurek, he went light. John Zerbinski was the only ball to get, the only player to get his ball to the pocket. Tommy's going to now try to slide the 2 over into the 10 to avoid their first open frame.
Dead on. So open frame for Tommy Jones.
So he gets 1 shot on the left lane, does Tommy Jones, and now they'll move lanes after 5 frames, and he'll get 1 shot on the right lane.
You better have your A game from the get-go, and Devaney has done that. 2 strikes in the opening match as they took down the 3rd-seeded Brooklyn Styles.
Well, the players are struggling now. You've got the KingPins on the left lane that are going light, and the Hitmen on the right lane going through the nose. Pretty straight right around 4th arrow, but that ball just didn't have enough speed on it to hold that line.
So not many strikes, only 1, and we've got a 3-pin match as the
3-6-10's like kryptonite.
Opens.
All right.
And both Devaney and Loschetter are missing the exact same spare leave, the 3-6-10. Not being able to take advantage of the KingPins open frame in the 3rd. Up steps a guy who knows a thing or two about striking.
KingPins up by 9. Weber with a chance to push the accelerator down, and few miss an opportunity like Pete Weber.
Yeah.
And there you go.
Come on, boys. There you go. Come on. Let's go.
Pete was able to get his ball to barely tickle up to the 1-3 pocket. It's because of that axis rotation he has. His wife says, you better strike or I'm going to give you something right across the chin there, buddy. Everybody wearing shades, everybody having a good time, but it's early. We're only through the 4th frame.
Bill O'Neill's squad down by 9 right now. O'Neill picking up his club. That's what a leader does.
The Kingpins anchor bowler is Scott Norton, who's bowling for a singles title later today. But right now, Scott is all about bowling for his team.
Having teammates there, you have people lift you up when you're down. You're not out there by yourself anymore. But also being able to help carry, when they're struggling as well, being able to carry them, and just the fact that you get to share in the experience with someone else it's so much fun. It's so much more fun than singles bowling.
Scott Norton is the anchor man on this very strong team because he has been the hottest bowler Thunderbowl lanes recently. His mom, a Hall of Fame bowler, Virginia Norton. And look at that. That ball looked larger than all the other ones, Randy. That just destroyed that rack.
Well, there's a reason why he's our anchor player, and you said it. I mean, you got Pete Weber, Tommy Jones on that team, and Scott Norton's the anchor. You better believe the reason why is because he's got a great look and he's thrown a lot of strikes.
You got to ride the wave, and the wave right now has the name of Scott Norton attached to it. Mika Koivuniemi, the anchor man for the Hitmen, down by 19.
That team trying to go really, really straight on that right lane, and none of these shots have even come close to hitting the pocket with the exception of Bill O'Neill's shot in the 4th, and he actually gave it a little bit of room. Mika really straight down and in. It's almost like the players are afraid to get the ball just an inch or two right of target for fear it won't get back.
It's not like they're missing their point. I mean, a bowler at this level knows how to hit his mark. It's not working for how they want it to work. So Mika cleans it up. That will end the first half of this match. The teams will switch lanes. We'll have Loschetter and Zerbinski up in the 6th. The Hitmen need to get something going to defeat the Kingpins here in match number 2. The semifinals are just heating up.
What's going on? This is Kevin Hart, owner of the Philadelphia Hitmen, a.k.a. the champions, future champions of this PBA Bowl League. Philadelphia Hitmen in your face. Ow! Oh, one.
Kevin Hart was a lot of fun at the Chris Paul charity event that we covered, and we're happy to have him as the owner of the Philadelphia Hitmen. He is indeed a comedian, always on stage. Great television host. Hosted the MTV Music Awards and the BET Awards. He also earned a BET Award. High praise for his film Laugh at My Pain, and MVP, pretty good hoops player, played in the 2012 NBA All-Star Weekend Celebrity Game. So an all-around entertainer is Kevin Hart. So after 5 frames, it is the Kingpins up by 19 on the Philadelphia Hitmen. And we begin with the leadoff man once again. Kingpins John Zerbinski, spare in the 1st.
Remember, the teams have flip-flopped lanes. This team here started on the left lane, now on the right lane.
Kingpins working on a double. Yes! Make it a turkey.
Right. You notice how that shot there, John Zerbinski gives this ball a little bit of room. We saw the Hitmen trying to go so straight and so direct. John Zerbinski moves in, gives it a little bit of room to the right. He's got that nice rotation and lift revolutions. And that ball just peels back for 10 in the pit.
Now Loschetter trying to right his own personal watercraft. Open frame in his first. He said it's got a chance. Oh, no, that's just a Loesch break these days. He can find nothing right with these lanes.
Should have got 7.
Well, it's just a terrible break. He throws a great shot, and I mean, I always thought that the pocket 710 was the worst break in bowling.
Well, you know, the first guy to convert the 710 on TV.
That'd be Mark Roth.
And we're here with the Mark Roth Classic, but Loesch cannot pull it off.
You leave a pocket 710, pretty good shot that it's a pocket. Now you don't even get a mark.
Mike Devaney having a little fun with Loesch there, maybe trying to cast out the demons. I'm sure Chris appreciates any help right now.
Jurek now.
Oh, jeez.
God.
These lanes remain a mystery to many of these PBA pros.
Hey, Lon, what's the favorite baseball team in New York? What's the name of that team?
The Yankees, baby.
Yeah, well, that's what he did on that shot.
Yank, huh?
It was a little Yankee there. And, he was lucky just to leave the 3-6-10. And, you know, Jack is discussing with himself because they could have built almost an insurmountable lead. Instead, he's looking at the 3-6-10. We've seen that missed twice already by the other team.
Jurek converts after 3 in a row for that team.
A glimpse there of Kelly Kulick, the only female in the PBA League, serves as an alternate for the Kingpins.
So a 39-pin lead for the Hitmen. Dick Allen now. The Hitmen down 39.
Look out. They don't need another pocket 710. Or that would have been a swishing 710.
Well, I moved quite a few through all the surface over here, so.
See that 7-pin fall late. 10-pin gets nudged, but still standing. They're in big trouble, Lon. I mean, it doesn't take a mathematician to figure out they're losing.
And this pin has not been a gimme today. Allen does knock it down.
Back up for the Kingpins. Pete Weber's first draft pick for owner Billie Jean King. Tommy Jones, a player Pete was sure would be gone early.
Well, that was kind of like a no-brainer. Everybody thought that Mika or Tommy were going to go first 1-2. And Norm kind of blew everybody away by picking Rhino right out of the gate. And so that made it real easy for me to pick Tommy. Just because I respect him. I love the way he bowls. He's a fighter. He never gives up, and he's a great team player, too.
TJ, very interesting. You see him at the setup where he actually puts his thumb in the ball first, and then he puts his fingers in last, reminiscent of Hall of Famer Dave Husted.
After leaving the split in the third, TJ bounces back.
That was a great shot where he gives the ball a little bit more room to the right than the Hitmen did on that right lane, and perfect result.
Kingpins looking to move on and meet the Motown Muscle, that team owned by Jerome Bettis, franchise player Mike Fagan. We're waiting in the wings for who their opponent will be. Devaney with a strike.
193. Stole a pin. 193.
Well, they can strike out now for 194. The Kingpins are going at a 203 pace if they just mark the rest of the way. A strike here, they'll just need good count in the 10th frame.
Look at the back. Even Mark Roth has the PDW glasses on. Weber managed to strike in the fourth. Yes! And here with another strike in the ninth.
PBA League action will continue in 2 weeks, but next Sunday, it's the second major championship of the season, the USBC Masters, live from the Brunswick Zone Carolier in North Brunswick, New Jersey. Can Mike Fagan beat the odds and successfully defend his Masters Championship? Find out next Sunday at 3 Eastern.
Bill O'Neill trying to bring his team some life. That 10-pin vexes him.
Yeah, not going to be enough today. Kingpins are going to move on to take on Jerome Bettis' team.
Well, the Hitmen came in to the stepladder as the wild card, winning the PBA League Clash. They knocked off number 3 Brooklyn Styles, but
that was pretty good.
The Kingpins and these lanes, too much for the Hitmen here today. And now Norton, who has been so strong, a strike in the 5th. But a 9 count here is enough, and the Kingpins will move through full of confidence. It'll be the Motown Muscle taking on the WTT Kingpins. More exciting action from Thunderbowl lanes in Allen Park. Come on back.
Welcome back to Allen Park, Michigan, just outside of Detroit. The PBA League Mark Roth Classic from Thunderbowl lanes. Lon McCarron along with Randy Peterson and JT Action Jackson down on the floor. Ready for our final team match of the day now. The number 1 seed Motown Muscle taking on the New York City WTT Kingpins. It's a rematch of the semifinal from last week. The Kingpins won that 225 to 192. The Motown Muscle with Ronnie Russell will lead us off. Here's the Motown Muscle lineup. Russell followed by Jesse Buss, Tom Smallwood, Mike Scroggins, and franchise player Mike Fagan. Jerome Bettis, the team owner. Russell to set the tone, and he does it just perfectly.
Well, that's what you're looking for in your leadoff bowler. Country Boy steps up and throws 10 back and comes back and high fives everybody, gets them fired up.
John Serbinski as this Kingpin team coming off a 211-162 win against the Philadelphia Hitmen in the previous semifinal match. Serbinski trying to get his team fired up. That's a good ball.
That's right. Nice shot. Nice shot, John.
John's been solid throughout this entire competition thus far, and boy, he just gets up and answers the strike that Ronnie Russell started off with. What a great shot by John Zerbinski.
Jesse Buss. Jesse, I'm not Jerome Bettis, Buss from Belvedere, Illinois, 28 years old. No PBA wins yet. He did win the Midwest Regional Stars and Stripes Open, a tourney his late father won in the mid-90s. Wow, what a kick, but 7-pin sticks around.
That was a huge break that the 2, the 5, and the 8 fell late. This guy's got tunnels for veins on his arm, right arm there. Jesse, maybe it's Jesse the Body Bus.
Yeah, maybe so.
This guy's in some pretty good shape.
He converts in his second.
Come on, guys.
Only second for the Kingpins, Jack Jurek.
Jack Jurek now. Even match right now. Jurek from New York, 49 years old, 2 PBA titles. One of them he won right here at Thunderbowl. Doesn't like it.
Another pulled shot, and this time he's going to pay. Back-to-back pulled shots on that right lane for Jack Jurek. He knew it immediately. Right out of his hand, it was going to go high.
So the second-seeded Kingpins in early trouble. Open frame for Jurek here in the second. Talk about a little local history and Jurek having won here. Tom Smallwood has some history here too, Randy.
Tom Smallwood's bowled phenomenally in this center. Made it through tour trials a few years back in this building.
Oh, almost got that kick.
Nice try, hit that.
Jesus. Great story.
Got a one in front of it.
Take a look at this shot. He feeds it just a hair right, and the ball comes back, leaving that soft end, but former auto worker. From that to a major championship winner.
And he has kept his job here on the line at the PBA.
Wow.
He delivers a spare after the open from Jurek and the KingPins. Now Tommy Jones trying to get his KingPins back on the right track here. On the right lane. Down by 11 early. Tommy had a 15-match TV win streak back in 05-06. There you go. Just when you need it most, TJ comes through.
And that's what good teammates do, is they pick up the slack when one of their own opens up, and that's exactly what Tommy Jones did right there in the third frame.
Now the lefty, Mike Scroggins. Any advantage for the lefties after, are these lanes getting torn apart on a certain portion for right-handers, or?
Well, there's not enough shots going down the lane. They are breaking down a little bit, but there's just not enough shots going down the lane to make drastic differences.
Lay like a rug, man.
Scroggins could have been arrested for that last shot. He pulled it so badly, and you heard him say, lie like a rug, and boy, that ball held pocket and froze right there. Pete Weber now stepping up in the fourth frame, can double up and close the gap.
Scroggins all smiles on the bench as he watches franchise player for KingPins, Pete Weber.
Yeah, baby. That's right. That's right. Come on.
Double for the KingPins.
See that hand open at the top, the rotation around the side of the bowling ball at release, and then the bowling ball taking the 8-pin out.
A dancer-like flair with that right hand going up to the lights.
Well, and that hand opening, you know, you see that hand open at release, it's just flawless motion. That's why he's been so good for so long. Remember that kid came out on tour when he was like 17 and a half?
Franchise player Mike Haugen with a muscle. He drafted this club. Not how he wanted to follow Pete Weber.
Interesting, when you go down the list of averages for this team, Mike Haugen had the lowest average, and he's bowling anchor. Must be nice to be the king of your castle.
Do you begrudge Haugen anytime?
No, I mean, Mike's so good. You know, just
absolutely.
His stats on this oil pattern maybe wasn't as good as the rest of his teammates. I mean, you're talking, 8-9 pins a game.
All right, now the anchor for the KingPins, Scott Norton, who we're going to be seeing very soon bowl for the Mark Roth Classic title against Michael Haugen Jr. That coming up when this team competition is done. Norton has been such an on-target bowler. And Norton is still running hot here. So here we go. It is a close match. We're going to take a break. The teams are going to switch lanes, and we're going to finish off this finale. Come on back to Thunderbowl Lanes in Allen Park. Welcome back to Allen Park and Thunderbowl Lanes in the PBA League Mark Roth Classic. Motown Muscle down by 9 to the KingPins. Take a look at the Motown Muscle team owner is Jerome Bettis, a native of Detroit, 13-year NFL career, the running back, 6-time Pro Bowl selection. Of course, he won a Super Bowl ring with the Steelers. 6th all-time in NFL rushing yards. Ronnie Russell now to open up the 6th. Motown muscle. Russell struck in the first.
Oh, God.
Boy, a lot of pin action bringing the strike in the 6th. Yeah, look at the wry smile and the whole team there.
Well, Ronnie's done his job.
It's still late there. I mean,
He's done his job. He struck in the first frame. He struck in the 6th frame. And even though he didn't like that shot, it's still 10. Zerbinski has been so rock solid throughout this team competition. And right now he's looking to make it 4 in a row for the Kingpins.
Trying to extend New York City's lead here. They are bowling now on a different lane from their first ball. In their first frame, they were rolling earlier in the first half.
Yeah, they flip-flop lanes as they've done throughout the team competition, and this ball never gets far enough to the right and goes high. This team has got experience. Remember, they have a match under their belt, and they should have a pretty good idea of what both lanes are doing.
All right. I stayed the same, and I guess I was a little bit slower.
John Zerbinski just came back and told the rest of his teammates, hey, I played him the same as I did last time I was on that lane. I went high. His teammates are going to make the adjustment now based off the information John just gave him.
That's one of the reasons Pete told me that he has Zerbinski, because Zerbinski's smart. He can read the lane, and he can tell the rest of the team where to go. And that's exactly what he was doing. And Bus comes up with a strike in the 7th. That's a double for the Motown Muscle as they now have the lead.
Well, let's see if Jack Jurek can make a little bit better shot. Last couple times he's pulled the bowling ball and gone high. Jack really needs to trust his instincts and just make a good shot here.
You can see on Jurek's face how seriously these guys are taking this. It's getting down to the mean streak time. Oh, wow! Where did that pin come from?
That's right.
Oh!
Well, here, I'm going to show you something that guys like myself and guys like Jack Jurek don't see very often. I want you to watch this pin carry. Head pin goes to the sidewall. Something takes out the 7. The head pin comes over, takes out the 10. That's a messenger. Jack doesn't throw a lot of those, and neither do I.
But they needed it. Smallwood now in the 8th for the Muscle.
Again, we've seen it time and time on that right lane. The player's not trusting it enough to give it some room to the right. Smallwood, same kind of thing. A lot of hand and too much of a rev rate to hold the ball on line going that straight. He's got to give the ball a little room to the right. Unfortunately, that's the last shot he's going to have on that right lane.
Every frame they throw is a mystery. Just throwing one on each side. Open frame for the Muscle, and that could be a killer.
And the bad news now is that the Kingpins are working on a strike, and Tommy Jones is stepping up. And right behind him, Weber.
Well, we saw Tommy open up in his 3rd frame in the semifinal match. The Kingpins did manage to go on to win that against the Hitmen, 211-162. And Tommy came back in his 8th to strike in that match. Jones with a strike with his first ball in this match.
No.
Lane is so tight.
A little too much ball speed, and the ball doesn't pick up down the lane, and it's basically what Tommy's referring to, tight down the lane.
Yeah,
and
one's back behind you. Right here, now.
That's just a little bit slower. It gives the ball time to pick up and come off of the end of the pattern and get to the pocket. Instead, it's an 8-10. He's going to flame it really hard at the 10 pin and hope it bounces out.
Going for the one, trying to kick it back. He does kick it into Deadwood territory.
Not bad.
Seesaw match back and forth. It's a 1-pin match in favor of Motown Muscle.
I like that one. You like that one? Yeah.
So here you see how it lays out with 2 frames to go. The KingPins down by 1. The Muscle on the approach. And Mike Scroggins, he struck in the 4th. Scroggins with a key strike for the Motown Muscle.
Strikes for the Muscle. 1-pin lead for Motown.
Great shot by Mike Scroggins. Now it's PDW time.
With him bowling here and the way that Norton's bowling, it's like having 2 anchormen. See Mark Roth on the left sporting the PDW glasses once again. KingPins down by 1. Does he like it? He likes it!
That's right. That's the little roll right there, baby.
See exactly what I was talking about. The difference between that shot and Tommy Jones. Pete Weber a little bit farther right, a little softer hand. A little softer speed, a little bit more rotation. Pete's ball recovers at the same spot where Tommy Jones's ball went right through it, leaving the 8-10. Come down to the 10th frame. Let's see which anchor bowler performs. And this is what it's all about when it comes to Baker-style bowling.
Norton, the anchor for the KingPins, waiting to bowl. He's watching the leader of Motown Muscle, Mike Haugen, put himself in this anchor position, and now he has to step up. He doesn't get the mix that he wanted.
Boy, and if you're Motown right now, you can't feel really good about what just happened. Not with Scott Norton getting set to come up in the 10th frame working on a strike. Spare here. They'll be in the 190s, but KingPins are working on a strike in the 9th.
So Haugen converts.
Real important shot here, Lon. If he were to get 9, they'd have 194. Scott Norton could go spare strike and shoot 194. We'd have a tie. So count is everything on this fill shot.
Mike Haugen looking for maximum count, but maximum heat on Scott Norton. He's wondering, where was that a moment ago? 195 for the Muscle.
Norton's got to strike on this ball. He has to strike on this ball. Anything less, Motown Muscle wins.
Top-seeded Motown Muscle. Number 2 seed, WTT KingPins, coming down to the 10th frame. Norton, the anchor, needs a strike. No, not gonna be. Norton comes up short, probably for the first time all week, giving the Motown Muscle, the top seed in this match, maximum points. What a match that was between 2 all-star teams.
12 points for the win. Go to the Motown Muscle. That moves them into second place overall behind the KingPins, who receive 8 points for their runner-up finish. Remember, the top 4 teams after 2 more rounds will go to Indianapolis in April for a chance to win it all and bring home the PBA League Elias Cup. More bowling still to come. A PBA singles title on the line as Scott Norton takes on a man with a little something to prove, Michael Haugen Jr. That championship coming up next. Stay with us.
Welcome back. There is the man, Mark Roth in the house, PBA Hall of Famer, 4-time PBA Player of the Year. 3 of them were back to back to back. And we're so happy to see Mark here at Thunderbowl Lanes.
Time to crown an individual champion for this PBA Mark Roth Classic. Scott Norton versus Michael Haugen Jr., who's more than a little motivated to win today by the fact that he was not drafted by any PBA League team in this inaugural season. Haugen is a 2-time PBA titleist, with one of those victories coming in a major, the 08 PBA Tournament of Champions. Fast forward to last season, Haugen had 4 top 10 finishes and was 19th in the point standings and 11th in average, yet was passed over at the league draft last November. The only player in last season's top 20 not chosen to play on any of the 8 PBA League teams. Michael's with JT right now.
Thank you. So, Michael, how do you feel about being the only player within the top 20 not getting picked for the team?
Well, I can tell you it stung a little bit, but, you know, the captains have their reasons. You'd have to ask them why they didn't choose me. This is just a little vindication, you know, and maybe make them think twice next time.
All right. Good luck, buddy.
Haugen had knee surgery last May and says he was about 70% at the time of the league draft, but still, he has not been shy about voicing his disappointment, Randy.
No, he sure wasn't. I asked him personally, and he had a lot to say, but I think right now Michael Haugen Jr. wants to let his bowling ball in his game do his talking for him. Certainly, I think and feel that he was overlooked, and you know, maybe there's some cause for concerns out there with some of the captains, maybe thinking he was still injured.
Scott Norton, the number 2 seed, bowling first. He's on the left lane, opens up with a strike.
And what a nice comeback after his mishap in the team portion of the Mark Roth Classic. Just right back in his wheelhouse, throwing strikes. Recovered nicely after not striking for his team, the Kingpins, in that final shot.
Both players own 2 tour titles. Haugen, 46 years old, from Carefree, Arizona. His opening ball on the right lane is a strike as well.
Michael Haugen Jr. using 2 different bowling balls, something that goes a little straighter on the right lane, and a little bit more hook on the left lane, but lots of implications in this match, not just a title on the line, but potentially Player of the Year implications. Scott Norton coming in with 1 win already this season. If he could get a second win here, he could put his name in the top of that list.
10 pin sticking around for Haugen on that left lane. He cleans it up, the top seed. Goes strike spare. He and Norton, very friendly. They shared a nice moment before the match began. Handshake and a hug, and may the best man win. Scott Norton looking for a double. Nice smooth motion. Neither player can double up.
Interesting, both players attacking this Mark Roth oil pattern pretty much the same way, going pretty straight but from completely different sides of the lane. Obviously, Scott Norton, the lefty, and Michael Haugen Jr., the right-hander, were both playing really tight, really straight lines.
So strike spare for Haugen. Norton trying to match that right here. And he does indeed. So an even match after 2. Greg Woodward is here, Scott Norton's spouse of just over a year. Great supporter of Scott. The counselor, who has a law degree. And if you need some legal help, I'm sure Scott would be happy to help you out. He does balance both a PBA Tour career and his law career. From the left lane, the left-hander. Yes! Another strike on that side. Michael Haugen Jr. after 8 games of qualifying in this Mark Roth Classic, 5th after qualifying, 1st after match play. Look at that match play record, 7-1-1. Mark Roth in the house. We're so happy to have him here. He won 8 titles in 1978, breaking Billy Hardwick's record of 7 in a single season. And here comes Haugen.
We're all tied up. Both players going strike, spare, strike to start. See if Haugen can be the first one to double up. I asked him why he bowled so well in this event. He said, hey, I'm not going to lie to you. As you can take a look at his arsenal, he's using an IQ Tour Pearl on the right lane, Defiant Soul on the left lane. But he said, I matched up well. I had some hold and I could go nice and straight. It's what I like to do.
And the snub for him didn't begin with that PBA league. He didn't have a ball contract at the beginning of the season, so he's trying to bowl his way into a stronger career, and here he is in a TV finals, and he finally does double up.
46 years of age, that man still has a lot of game and a lot of pride.
Norton tied for 3rd after the 8 games of qualifying, 7-2 in match play record. These guys very evenly matched coming into this finale.
Now carry.
It did.
Still tied.
Scott Norton already a winner this season at the Geico World Series of Bowling. Norton picked up the 2nd title of his career by defeating Jason Belmonte in the tournament where he captured his 1st title as well, the Chameleon Championship. That win was the first by a lefty on the PBA Tour in more than a year. The last time that happened, 1962, 2 decades before Scott was born.
Carry. Yes.
Norton coming on strong.
Well, I got a really late kick on the 7-pin, but it went down for 3 in a row, and some nice pin carry. Never hurt anyone.
Norton seems to have shaken off that disappointment in the team competition as he does go for a 3-bagger, and now Haugen trying to match that. Ooh.
Just a little tight on that shot there, leaving the 4-pin. Now he's going to find himself trailing by 11 if he converts the 4. It's like old school bowling right here. Watching balls go straight down the lane instead of lofting the gutter cap and going from 6-0 to 10. It's kind of has a nostalgic feel to it.
Extra Frame, the PBA's online video subscription service, is your best source to catch all the action in this week's USBC Masters. Extra Frame will cover all the qualifying and match play rounds live in the season's 2nd major, so don't miss any of the competition. Head to PBA.com and click on the Extra Frame link for more information.
Blows in the thumb hole there, puts a little moisture in there, give him a nice snug feel in that thumb.
Let it fly and hope it comes back.
Good thing it was straight, otherwise there'd be 2 more standing with the 2-pin, and that would have been the 8 and the 10.
Haugen trying to collect himself now. He knows he's lost some of his edge.
He just needs to make better shots. He's got to keep the ball in the jar at the 1-3, make better shots.
Straight ball, cleans up.
Sorry, I didn't mean to throw it so bad.
And he knows he has given Scott Norton an opportunity here to put some daylight between these two. Scott up by 12. Working on a turkey. I was calling it. I thought sure that was going to be a strike.
Well, that ball just didn't have anything on it when it went through the pins, leaving that soft 7.
These are the kind of matches that build lifelong champions. The pressure on every frame, having to deliver your best shot every time you're on the approach.
Come on. Good shot here.
Scott's arsenal there. He's throwing the oath. Keeping that ball in play nice and straight. Kind of a medium hooking ball. Just getting back to the team event match where the KingPins, his team, lost to the Motown Muscle. They lost in the 10th frame. Scott Norton stepped up. He could have struck on his first ball to seal the deal for his team. Did not get it done. And the question was, how would he rebound? So far, so good.
Up by 11.
Oh, my. Well, something just rocket launched another pin right over the top of the 10 pin. Watch this pin action. That's unlucky.
Very unlucky. Scott's win earlier this year at the World Series of Bowling ended a drought for left-handed winners on tour. None at all last season. First full PBA season without a lefty champion since 1962. And then we saw Parker Bone III promptly follow up with a World Championship victory. And Norton here with a chance for another one.
Haugen's got some life now, and he can even up this match with a strike here in the 7th and 8th frame.
So both players handing their opponent opportunities. Neither one able to fully take advantage. Norton knows now Haugen has a chance. Can Haugen perform here? Yes, he can.
There's the old frozen rope at the 1-3. 10 pin goes late. Haugen one strike away from tying up the match. Possibility of a tie if both players go to the wall, meaning they strike out from here on out. Let's see if Michael Haugen Jr. can make a good shot here in the 8th frame.
Michael has a reprieve from not the governor, but the man they call the counselor, Scott Norton. Haugen has to step up and strike here. And he got it.
Well, he made a great shot there. He gave it a good touch. The ball tips up at the last part of, or the back part of the lane, and he shreds the rack. Just a great touch, a great shot right here. You can see he's got some good stuff on this ball. It gets up to the pocket, and that good angle helps him rip the rack. Now let's see what kind of maple moxie Scott Norton has.
Norton with his 8th. An even match right now for the Mark Roth Classic title. Can he get it? He might get it. Yes, he does.
I don't know if Michael Haugen Jr. wasn't watching or he just saw it. The last time on this lane, he left a soft 7. This time it's the same thing, only he gets the roller. And Michael Haugen Jr. was watching.
Oh, yeah.
Not good for the psyche when you see something like that happen to you or happen against you.
Norton after the break. Oh, my goodness.
4, 6, 7, 10, split.
The worst possible event after what just happened a moment ago.
Well, he just all but handed the title to Michael Haugen Jr. with that shot right there. Lack of concentration, maybe too pumped up when he got up on that left lane.
Look how quickly he's throwing this ball. Just get rid of it. Oh, wow. And look how close he came to converting the big 4.
Yeah, he almost became the second player ever to make that behind Walter A. Williams Jr. Michael Haugen Jr. is in the 2 teens right now. The best Norton can shoot, 216, as you take another look at how close he came to making the big 4.
Scott Norton knows he may have just handed this title to Michael Haugen Jr., the top seed coming in. Haugen, a little high there.
Wow, that could have been disaster for Michael Haugen Jr. if that ball drifted high, but fortunately it's not going to move a whole lot in the back part of the lane. Watch this. Just a subtle little hook in the back end of this pattern He only leaves a 4-pin.
Haugen cleaning up here in the 9th.
Now Haugen needs strike spare in the 10th frame, and he'll shut out Scott Norton by 1 pin. Strike on the first ball, and he could seal the deal. If he does not strike on the first ball, it's still anybody's ball game.
So Norton flinched late in his league team competition, and now flinching here in the 9th. There you see Haugen needs strike and spare to shut out Scott Norton. This is the critical ball for Michael Haugen. He says, come on!
We now have the possibility of a tie. Michael Haugen Jr. spares here, strikes on his fill shot. Scott Norton would need all 3 strikes in the 10th frame to tie.
Tense moments here at Thunderbowl Lanes in Allen Park, Michigan. The Mark Roth Classic coming down to the final frame as Haugen converts. Now the fill ball.
Big shot coming up, Lon. And if I'm Michael Haugen Jr., if I strike on this shot, I'm going to feel really good about my chances to win, only because Scott Norton, the last couple of times on the right lane, his ball hasn't hit hard enough to strike, even though he did roll the 7-pin in the 8th frame. It hasn't been real convincing for me. A strike here, I think Michael Haugen Jr. wins this.
Haugen to give himself the best possible chance.
Now he can lose.
215 for Michael Haugen.
He was the top seed, and he did elect to have Norton finish on the right side.
Norton gets all 3. He wins by 1 pin. Nothing Michael Haugen Jr. can do about it. It's coming down to these next 3 shots. If he doesn't strike on this ball, it's over. 2 strikes in 9, we have a tie.
Haugen, I'm not sure he can watch this. Craig will have to. Norton has been so strong this week. That's trouble. And that is the end of the match. Exactly how he gave the opening to Michael Haugen Jr.
The bowler.
Great bowler.
Sorry you ended it like that, brother, but thank you.
Thank you. Nice bowling.
Scott Norton comes up short. Michael Haugen Jr. with his 3rd PBA title. It comes at the age of 46 with the Mark Roth Classic.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Mark Roth here to offer his congratulations to Haugen.
Thanks, Mike.
Scott Norton had a chance to win the match with 3 strikes in a row. But the Big 4 tells the story. Back with more from Thunderbowl Lanes after this. The PBA League Mark Roth Classic is brought to you by Geico, saving people money on more than just car insurance. Hammer Bowling, nothing hits like a hammer. Ebonite, bowl to win. And by Jack Link's Beef Jerky, feed your wild side. So Michael Haugen Jr. now holds the Mark Roth Classic trophy and gets a hug from Mark Roth himself. Perhaps an even better memento. Time now for the Geico Championship recap. Randy.
Well, Michael Haugen Jr. gets the golden ticket given to him by Scott Norton. When Norton opens in the 9th frame, Michael Haugen Jr. could have sealed the deal. Instead, he gives Norton an opening. Norton comes back with another Big 4. Haugen wins sitting on the bench for title number 3.
JT right now is with our latest PBA champion.
How do you feel right now, Michael?
I'm exhausted and I'm elated. Growing up, I watched Mark bowl. He was an idol of mine. I was fortunate enough to get to room with him a little bit and get to know him a little bit as he was on the way out of the tour, and he taught me a lot. So it's an honor to win his tournament. And I mean, I'm absolutely speechless. You know, I mean, I had that surgery in May, and a lot of people didn't think I was coming back, and I'm back, and it feels good, brother. It feels good.
Well, I could tell, Michael. Congratulations, man.
Thank you,
and many more to come.
Thank you. Thank you. Next week, the second major of the season, the USBC Masters, coming your way on ESPN Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Do not miss it.
Well, another day of bowling wraps up here at Thunderbowl Lanes. Congratulations to the top-seeded Motown Muscle, who squeezed out a win against the KingPins to earn maximum points. Also, congratulations to Michael Haugen Jr. He gets his third career title with a win here in the Mark Roth Classic. For JT Action, Jackson, and Randy Peterson, I'm Lon McCarran. Join us next week live for the USBC Masters.